Welcome back to Digital Reset. Thank you for clicking that button. Much love, much appreciated. Today I'm going to talk about how I made $1 million, or give or take $1 million bucks in about a day and a half. And this is not a clickbaity title to try to say I know how to tell you how to make $1 million easily. I'm just going to tell you a story of how this happened to me in the industry I'm in. So to start at the beginning, crypto has a million different sectors, right? There's the financial side, there's the tech side, there's all these different projects that use cryptocurrency, and they tokenize and they do all these really cool things, right? And that's where I started in the industry. So when I first got into it, I was working on big projects, blockchains, things like that. And last cycle, there's a very degen side of crypto too, which is what most people are attracted to, which kind of embodies like meme coins. NFTs were huge last cycle, and that's where the story is kind of like based out of, right, is the NFT craze. So that was about 5 years ago. I didn't know anything about NFTs. I was working on projects that were, like really techie, right? So we were building blockchains, things like that. But NFTs were the craze, and I had heard about them. CryptoPunks had come out. There was this crazy wave of just NFTs that were just blowing up, and you're just hearing these stories all over the place. And one of my buddies who I worked with, he was actually a partner of mine that we worked on some more techie things, but he was also very into NFTs, and he was getting into Bored Apes, things like that. So he calls me one day, and this is how it works in crypto a lot of times. You got to be like so locked in, because things happen, and if you miss it by like half an hour, it could be the difference between you making 100 grand and zero. So he calls me on the phone. I'm just driving. I don't know anything about NFTs really. And he says, hey, just listen to me. I know you don't know anything about NFTs. He said, go home, get some Ethereum, and I'm going to walk you through how to do this. And he didn't even know at the time either how big this was going to be. So he said, get on your computer, and I need you to go into a contract, and you have to basically go through these steps to mint these NFTs. So when you mint an NFT, you're basically the creation of the NFT. You get to randomly download an NFT, and you get it at a ridiculously low price. So for instance, a Bored Ape, which was like one of the most popular NFTs in the world, they ran up all the way to, I think, $300,000 to $400,000 a piece at their peak last cycle. Now you could have minted those if you got them first for, I think it was 0.1 of an Ethereum, which was under $100. So just imagine that, right? If you're lucky enough to mint a Bored Ape NFT, and that's just one NFT, at one point that NFT is worth $300,000 to $400,000 depending on like the rarity of it. And a lot of people did that. So a lot of millionaires were made just off of minting something for $100. So, and this is, the hindsight's different, right? In hindsight, everything looks amazing. But so this was a different project. My buddy said, just get on your computer, do what I tell you, and we'll see what happens. So I get on my computer, I do exactly what he says. I go into the contract. It's kind of complicated. It takes a few minutes, and I mint about 25 of these things that are called Loot for Adventure. Now, what it is, it's kind of funny. It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. So when you mint this NFT, it's not even a picture. What it is a list of words. So it's a picture of like 7 words, and it's just randomized. So I think they made like 10,000 of them. And the rarity lied in the words that were on the paper, right? Like this picture that you get, you mint it, and then it reveals what it is. And at the time I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, this is like a list of words, bro. Like, this is the most ridiculous thing. I'm minting these things for like $20 a piece, right? And I'm like, bro, I just wasted like $700. Like, what the hell are you telling me to mint, bro? This is ridiculous. Like, I just minted 20 sheets of words that don't mean anything, and it's for this game called Loot for Adventure. And I'm like, God, this is like this could be the dumbest thing that I've ever purchased, right? And I'm like $700 down the drain, and and then they mint out really quickly. Now about an hour goes by, these things they start selling, right? And at the time it's, it's 0.3 of an Ethereum they're selling for, right? So I sell a couple, I get all my money back. I'm like, dude, this is amazing. I still have like 18 of these NFTs. I've made all my money back that I put into it. And I'm like, oh, let's just watch and see where this goes. So these NFTs, they start going up in value, and this is happening fast. Like within an hour, they're at 1 ETH. for any of them, like just for like the lowest priced one ETH. At the time, I think Ethereum's $300 or something like that, $400. So, you know, I'm like, well, I'm up like $4,000 on these things. Like if I were to sell all these right now and people are buying them, I'm like, dude, I can make $4,000 off 700. But I'm like, I'm gonna hold these a little bit. 2 ETH, 3 ETH, 4 ETH. All of a sudden, they're sitting there at like 5 ETH for one of them, and then some are selling for 10 ETH, 20 ETH, and I'm like, what is going on here? And there's I'm like, what's the deal? And it was just the craze, right? Everyone's buying everything. So we wait overnight, and overnight some of them start selling for 50 ETH, and it's just a rarity in the word. So if you have a sheet that has a certain word on it, that's what everybody wanted. I had my brother-in-law, he had some of the rarest ones. He didn't know at the time, so he sold them for like 1 ETH. He could have sold them for like 60, 70, 100 ETH for some of the NFTs he sold early. So he could have made, like, we did the calculation, if he would have sold at the top, he would have made like $5 million off of like 500 if he would have just held and sold. But I mean, you never know, right? It's always hindsight, it's 2020. But anyways, so I was selling some, I was holding some, and it worked out to being, close to $1 million that I got out of it over time, over like a one day period. And this is all off of $700. And this type of stuff happens in crypto when things are popping off and there's like the craze, right? At the time, it's just perfect timing. Got lucky. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just had a buddy that got me into it, and just hit the jackpot on that, right? And that's happened a few times with different things in the industry. You also can lose your money 90% of the time, right? Like it's not always like that, right? Like most of the time you're gonna buy things, you're gonna mint things, and you might lose money most of the time. So this was just one instance where right place, right time, and just being around the right people that know what they're doing. And this type of stuff still happens every single day. You have meme coins that are running up from, like 4K all the way up to 50 million, right? So let's just say you get into a token at, under 100K, and that thing goes to 10 million. I mean, just do the multiples, right? You're looking at like 100x. That can happen in a matter of 10 minutes. And there's really no other industry like it, where you can hop into things and you can get rich in a day. It happens every single day to people. A lot of people also go broke, right? A lot of people get addicted to it. They spend all their money trying to hit that big hit. It's a pretty wild industry to be in, but there's no better industry in the world. This industry's changed my life, my family's life, and I'm not saying jump into crypto and like start throwing money around, but it's definitely a really good industry if you're interested in it, to get in and like start meeting people, get in the right circles, because that kind of stuff happens all the time, especially when there's a bull run and there's just things happening in the industry, right? And if you're interested in something like that, I will talk a lot about crypto on this channel because it's what I do. I've been doing it for about 10 years. I'm also going to be opening a Discord, a free Discord for people that want to learn, and also too for my brand, Digital Cartel. So it is a big part of what I do, and it is going to be a part of this channel. But yeah, that's what the title of the story is. It's you can make, it's rare, but you can make life-changing money in one day if you're in the right place at the right time. The other thing is, it's not very regulated, right? So the minute you get into the industry, if you lose your money or you get scammed or you get, you buy something or you lose your keys, it's like there's nobody there to save you. There's nobody there to hold your hand. And that also happens all day long, every day, right? People get into the industry and they get wiped out. They get wrecked, which is probably more cases than not, right? So it's a very, very volatile industry. It's a very risky industry, but it's also an industry that can change your life in a matter of minutes or days. And I feel like the industry is kind of going in that direction where things are, obviously whenever things get popular and there's a lot of money to be made, there's a lot of scammers, there's a lot of people trying to extract money, right? So it's a very dangerous industry now. When I got into it, it was the Wild West. Nobody knew anything, right? It was a bunch of people that believed in the idea of crypto, which is decentralization, owning your own money. So there was a much smaller group, but it was not as scammy. I mean, it's always been kind of scammy. There's always people trying to rob people, but it was a lot easier to navigate, I would say. Now it's just kind of so wide open. So if you are looking to get into an industry like crypto, I would suggest, first things first, you want to learn security, which is the most important, right? You got to know how to hold your money. Whatever you put into it, you got to know it's safe. You don't want to be sending it around to weird places. You want to know how to control your wallet, because at the end of the day, that's what crypto is. It's self-custody. So you want to make sure security is number one. Two, don't start trading right away. Get into some groups with people you trust, and take your time and do it slowly, and don't FOMO, because it's very easy to like fall into the I'm trying to get rich quick. And it's a very good way to go broke, because there's so many things to jump into, right? There's always some play. There's always something someone's trying to get you to buy. So you just be very patient with it until you learn the industry. Three, there's so many things now. Like when I was getting into crypto at first, there was really only YouTube. You used to have to wait for videos to come out, and that's how you got your information. Well, nowadays you have Twitter, which is massive for crypto, where you can go to spaces and you can learn about projects. They have Telegram, where you can go and you can actually be in the community first before you buy it, and you can ask questions, and there's just so much information now. With that comes, it's a much bigger space, and there's a lot more things you can fall into that can take your money, but the information's there, right? I never had access to information like that when I first got into it. You kind of just you just knew a couple people that would tell you what to do. But now, there's really no excuse. If you want to get into an industry like that, there's so many things you can learn, and like online, and you can go on YouTube, you can go into chat groups, and you can learn information on the fly as it happens now, which is pretty amazing, right? And so that's another thing. So if you are going to get into crypto, I would suggest learn security first before you put $1 into it. Understand how to create a wallet, how to manage your wallet, how to keep your private keys safe. Second thing, go download Telegram. If you don't have a Twitter, get that, and just take about a week where you can just kind of learn how those work, get into some groups, get on Twitter, follow people that you like, that you vibe with, and don't rush into anything, because one thing that I can say about this industry is there's always another play. There's always something that you can get into, and if you feel like you missed something, which happens all day long, you can't get everything, right? Don't feel like you missed out, because tomorrow there'll be another one, the next day there'll be another one, and this industry is growing like crazy. So just learn the basics. I can help. I'm gonna do some videos to help out with that stuff too, as far as like education on some of these things. I'm not going to tell you what coins to buy ever, but I will help out with, like, if you have any questions on security, wallets, how do I keep my money safe? These are all very important things. And I would say 90% of people, when they first get into crypto, they end up losing money on silly things like, I forgot my keys to my wallet. Oh, I sent money to the wrong address. Things like that, they're self-inflicted. And it drives a lot of people away. So once you learn the basics, then you can take the next step into doing things where you're taking chances, right? Like what I did. And then you have opportunities that can change your life. So definitely, I don't know, I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, that was just a story about what happened to me. And I've seen it happen to many, many people, where you're in the right place, right time, you know what you're doing, and you can make insane money. So much love, you guys. I'm going to do another video later. Probably won't be about crypto, but if you have any questions, subscribe, hit me up. I'll respond to everybody that has any questions about any of this. And I'd like to help out any way I can. Crypto's done a lot for me. It's put me in a good position. So any way I can help in any way, I always want to do for people. And yeah, help me out. Give it a subscribe and a like. Much love.